If there's one part of your home that works harder than all of the rest, outside of maybe your air conditioning system if you live in Charleston, it's the roof. But there's more to a roof than just the shingles. There's actually a whole system that supports the roof and makes it one big functional system. So in today's video, I'm going to break down everything there is to know about roofing, the different layers, how they all interact, and how they protect your home from wind, rain, sun, and any falling objects. If you're looking for a brief overview of the 9 different systems in a home, I have a video that covers that. Or if you're looking for a video that covers the other 2 structural parts of the house, being the framing or the foundation, I also have videos that are linked below in the comments and also findable in this playlist. But let's get back to the topic at hand, which is the roof. So this kind of goes without saying, but the roof is one of the most important systems in your home, and it's the first line of defense against wind, rain, hail, sunshine, falling objects, pretty much anything that could enter the home and cause some damage. If your roofing system is failing, because it's on top of the home, it's going to tend to percolate other issues down through the walls, particularly if that damage is water related. If you have a leaky roof, you can expect to see other issues that develop in the home, not even on the second story or directly under the roof, but also all the way down to the foundation of the home. So the first part of the roof gives it its structure, which is the trusses, the decking, and the rafters of the roof. Nowadays, most builders, whether they're custom home builders or big box builders, are going to use engineered trusses, which are those big triangular wooden frames that you'll often see on semi-trucks on the highway. These trusses are nice because they distribute all the weight of the roof evenly, and because they're engineered, they're typically lighter weight and stronger just because of the way they're designed. Now, in older or in custom homes, sometimes you'll see rafters instead of these engineered trusses, but rafters accomplish more or less the same thing as the trusses. The big difference is that trusses are shipped fully made and they're simply installed as one unit, whereas rafters are individually cut on site and fit to that custom home or that custom roof line. So now that we have either a truss system or a set of rafters that's installed, this is still just a lot of space for there to be open air. So we need something to create a surface that we can put all of our waterproofing materials on. So what goes immediately on top of the truss or the rafters is the decking, which is usually plywood or OSB. So basically, this is just big sheets of plywood that provide a nailing backing system for the waterproofing layer and for the shingles. A lot of times you can identify an older roof because the plywood in between the trusses or in between the rafters has started to sag a little bit. So as you're driving by a house, if you see that the roof kind of has these undulations in it, it could be that that decking needs to be replaced because it's sagging because it's getting older. So now that we've talked about the structure of the roof and what supports all the way to the shingles, let's talk about the waterproofing layer, which is arguably one of the most important parts of the house. So there's 2 major parts that go into the waterproofing layer, and that is the underlayment and the flashing. The underlayment is some type of material, typically felt or synthetic material like Tyvek, that's put on top of the decking and underneath the shingles. Now, the purpose of this layer isn't to be completely waterproof. It's just to prevent water intrusion from going into the decking and to help divert any water that makes it under the shingles down and away from the rest of the roofing system. Now, the other part of the waterproofing portion of the roof is flashing. Now, flashing is installed against vertical surfaces, and it just helps to divert any water that's running down those vertical surfaces away from any small gaps between the vertical surface and the roof. You'll see these a lot around chimneys, vertical penetrations to the roof, or in and around windows. This is really just to divert water away from the window, away from the structural part of the house, and down toward the foundation and out away from the home. Now, the flashing is usually made of some type of metal material, and if the flashing is missing, you could be looking at a water intrusion issue further down the line. So now that we've talked about the structural part of the roof, which is a truss or rafter system, the decking that goes on top of that, which is plywood or OSB, and then the felt waterproofing layer that goes on top of that, and the flashing, which diverts any water from vertical surfaces down away from any cracks or gaps in that system. Now let's talk about the thing that everybody sees as they drive by your beautiful home, the shingles. Now the shingles are just one type of roof covering that helps to protect the roof and all the things that are underneath it from the elements. Common types of roof coverings, at least here in Charleston, are asphalt shingles, metal roofs, or sometimes we'll see tile or slate or stone roofs, but those are very, very seldom seen. And the reason is those are just very expensive, but they do last a long time if you take good care of them. Asphalt shingles are by far the most common. These typically come in 3 and 4 tab varieties, just the different style, but they all function pretty much the same. And they usually last anywhere from 20 to 30 years, depending on the weather and the installation method. Metal roofs, on the other hand, usually more expensive to install, but they last a lot longer, somewhere between 40 and 70 years, which I realize is a pretty big gap of time. But because they're metal, they have a tendency to be a little bit more rigid, a little bit more resilient to any issues that come up, and much more waterproof. As I said before, tile and slate roofs, very, very uncommon, very seldom seen. But if you take care of them, sometimes they can last up to 100 years. Pretty cool. Now, the last part of the roof system is more of an accessory, not necessary for the roofing system to work, but definitely helpful if it's there. And that is the gutter system. The gutter system really just diverts any water from the roof as it's running down into specific areas, down the downspouts, and then away from the home. A lot of people don't think about it, but if your gutters get clogged, it could result in your gutters overflowing and water getting in places where it shouldn't, because it can't go down the gutter system and be diverted away from the home. Now, there is one last portion of the roofing system that we need to talk about, and that is ventilation. Believe it or not, your attic space and your roof system actually needs to be very well ventilated, and it can be done in a couple different ways. Usually, you'll see vents under the soffit, which is the overhang of the roof. Usually there'll be vents along that portion of the home. And a lot of times you'll also see a ridge vent, which is just at the very, very tip top of the roof. There will be a little gap that allows hot air to rise and escape the attic. Sometimes if you don't have these type of vents, you can see a fan system or a temperature controlled heat pump that will help remove heat from the attic as well. The big takeaway about ventilation in the attic is that you need to have proper airflow to get rid of moisture, to manage the heat that's being retained in the highest part of the house, and to prolong the life of your roof. Now let's talk about some common issues and warning signs that could mean that you have a roof replacement or roof repair in the near future. Now, the most obvious one is going to be water stains on the ceiling or in the attic, or clogged gutters that are causing water to just overflow over the entire length of the gutter. But there are some other things you can look for that are a little bit harder to spot. Some of those include sagging roof lines, like we talked about earlier, where the edge of the roof just starts to sag a little bit. Or you could see an undulating roof where the decking between the trusses has started to sag a little bit. That could mean that your roof needs to be replaced. Or you could just have some missing or beaten up shingles. One of the things I see a lot in a moisture-rich area, like the Low Country, is moss growth on the roof. Now, this presents an issue because as the moss grows, it likes to sneak underneath the shingles, which is then going to pop those shingles up and allow for water to potentially get underneath the waterproofing system and start to rot away the decking underneath. The big takeaway here is if you see anything abnormal with the roof, any sagging, any moss growth, you want to get that taken care of quickly so that it doesn't compound and bring water into the home over time. Now, as far as a roofing replacement goes, this is one of the more expensive items to repair and maintain in your home. A brand new roof is going to run anywhere from $9,000 to $40,000, depending on the type of roof you get. Now, if you're doing just a standard 4-tab architectural asphalt shingle roof, you're probably looking at in the $9,000 to $15,000 range. Whereas if you're going to do a metal roof, you're looking more in the $20,000 to $30,000 range. Again, depending on the quality of the installer and the materials that you're using. Now, the nice thing is, once you get that roof replaced, you don't have to worry about that expense for another 15, 20, 30, sometimes even up to 50 years, depending on the roof. So that's a good thing. To sum up, your roof is way more than just shingles. There's a whole system that goes into it. You have trusses or rafters that support the decking, and the decking supports the waterproofing layer, which then supports the shingles that go on top of that. On top of those shingles, in conjunction with those shingles, you also have gutters that divert water away from the home and away from the foundation, and ventilation throughout the attic to maintain low moisture levels and lower heat levels throughout the summer. If you're looking for a breakdown of the other major systems in the home, check out the other videos in this playlist. Or if you just want an overview, I have an overview video covering the 9 different sections of the home, also in this playlist.